Will I be the asshole for canceling Christmas? I am tired of planning vacations for my ungrateful husband and his twin. Husband and I have been together for 7 years and married for 3 months. We both work high-stress jobs with high incomes and no children. We are frugal and spend our money on savings and trips. In our relationship, I plan our retirement, keep track of finances, host friends/family, arrange gifts, make appointments, and plan our vacations. We travel a lot. For his part, he does laundry and cooks and does the dishes more than me. He gets along well with everyone and is the more easygoing one. On our trips, I've asked my husband to help me with tasks ranging from helping me plan beforehand to finding an Uber. Usually, he ignores me until it's too late and I have to make the decision. Or he makes mistakes, getting an Uber to the wrong place or forgetting beach towels I asked him to bring. Mistakes aren't a big deal, but he places the blame for them on me. This issue is not new to us. For our wedding, I did 99% of the planning, and he promised in return that he would plan a honeymoon. Right before the wedding, he looked up a Costco package that was almost twice as expensive as we'd agreed to spend, and that didn't have guaranteed spots. What I really wanted him to do was not to find an all-inclusive, unaffordable trip that we didn't go on, but do something that was tailored to us. My husband also has a twin brother that often comes along with us. Like my husband, his twin doesn't help plan, and he had never thanked me for planning trips for us. He behaves like coming on the trips is a gift to me. Outside of this, I've tried to be his friend, but I feel no reciprocity. I get him gifts for his birthday and holidays, text and call him, and include him, i.e., asking him if he wants me to write his name on a Mother's Day card when he hasn't helped pick a gift. Right now, we're all on a flight back from Hawaii, where I researched hotels and flights, put together schedules, booked hikes and dinners, rented a car, etc. When I brought up the fact that they complained a lot and never said thank you, my brother-in-law said that he told me the sunset was nice, and that is the same as a thank you. When I told this to my husband and explained how upset I am with both of them for not helping me, not yelling, but definitely not in a calm way, he told me to fuck myself. My husband also said that if I cancel future trips, that I'm no longer invited to my in-laws' Thanksgiving. The one thing is mom plans. I've already planned and booked an elaborate 3-week Christmas trip to Italy for the 3 of us. They say they want to go, while doing nothing. But I just feel exhausted. At this point, I'm considering canceling it entirely, canceling my own portion, or canceling one or both of their portions and going solo. Would I be the asshole if I took one of those paths? Am I the asshole for telling my fiance's family that he's unemployed after they kept implying that I was a gold digger? So, my fiancé comes from a well-off family. I come from a working-class family. My fiancé's family are nice, but they can't help throwing comments at me about how I might be a gold digger. For example, if he buys me something, they'll go, "Oh, Jason bought you that? You know what this looks like, right?" And/or, "Wait, Jason paid for this?" Only gold diggers make their partners pay for stuff all the time. Just saying. It's so demeaning, and my fiancé does nothing to stop it. Especially now that he's in a bad place in life after he lost his job. And since he's keeping it secret then, I'm the one paying for everything. This has been going on for 4 months. Last week, his parents invited us for dinner, and he insisted that we go, so we went. At dinner table, his mom grabbed my hand, literally while I was eating, and looked at my bracelet and went, "Oh, this bracelet looks really nice. Did Jason pay for it?" I nodded and reminded her that he bought it for me as a birthday gift last year. She was like, wonder how much it cost. She then leaned back and said, "You know, I remember when my brother was dating this gold digger woman, she'd receive expensive stuff like this," pointing at the bracelet. "Bracelet here for her birthdays." I was stunned. I cut her off and asked if she meant to say that I was a gold digger. She threw her hands up and went, "I mean, if the shoe fits." While laughing awkwardly, silence took over. I looked at my fiancé, and he shook his head at me like, "What?" I snapped. I told her it was bold of her to imply I was a gold digger when I'm literally providing for her unemployed son. Have been for 4 months now. They all looked shocked. She glanced at me in shock, and his dad asked if it was true, and my fiancé just froze but looked so angry. An argument ensued, and dinner was cut short, and we had to leave after they started berating him. He had a rage fit in the car, just yelling and lashing at me. In my defense, I said that he sat by and let his mom continually imply that I was a gold digger, but he said that they never outright called me a gold digger, so it was all in my head. He said I still had no right to take advantage of his unfortunate circumstance to get back at his mom and expose him to the family. His parents went on about how disappointed they were, and now, as a result, he got disinvited from Thanksgiving. He blew up at me because of it this morning and kept saying I screwed him over so badly when he was just an innocent bystander. Am I the asshole for canceling Thanksgiving? I have hosted Thanksgiving for my family, husband, children, mother, siblings, and their spouses, for the last 20 years. There was never an issue until my brother met his now-wife Julie 5 years ago. Julie is very big into fad diets, Atkins, keto, South Beach, and every year she sends me a list of foods that she cannot eat and a list of things that she can. Last year, I cooked her the exact keto foods that she wanted, and she was upset the entire meal because my brother didn't want to eat it with her, so they fought at the table. Last week, she sent me a text message that she is now on the fertility diet as they are starting IVF, and sent me another list of foods that she cannot eat and a planned menu for me to cook for her. I texted her back and told her that this year I was making one meal and one meal only, and she could either eat what was being served or bring her own food. She texted back and told me that I was being selfish and didn't care about her. My brother called me up the next day and asked if I was happy about ruining Thanksgiving and started to yell about how at their BBQ last summer they catered to my food allergies. I am deathly allergic to strawberries and have an EpiPen. I told my brother that this was not the same as a life-threatening food allergy, that this was dietary choice, and it changes every year. He called my mother, who told him that we all find it difficult to keep up with Julie's dietary needs, and that if she wants special foods, she needs to bring them herself. Now my entire family is fighting with each other, my brother won't speak to me, and my SIL is posting nasty things about me on Facebook. I talked to my husband about this, and he said this was ridiculous high school bullshit drama. He told me he would be fine canceling the whole meal and it just being our family. I agreed with him and sent everyone a text message. I told them that Thanksgiving at my house is canceled, that I am serving Thanksgiving menu. If they want to come over and eat with us, they are welcome to do so. My sister is thrilled that I finally said something about it. She hosts Christmas dinner and is also tired of cooking extra meals. My mom, however, is upset that we are all fighting and thinks that I shouldn't have canceled the meal. Now I am starting to feel guilty, but my husband and my son say that I need to stand my ground and not give in to Julie and my brother. So am I the asshole for canceling Thanksgiving? Am I the asshole for leaving my fiancé at the mall after he insisted that I buy him a $350 watch? Me and my fiancé, Aaron, have been together for 2 years. I have a high-paying job and work long hours. He used to have a 3-week shift in a job that paid 5 times less than mine. We're on pretty great terms on everything except money. He's a big spender and spends so much on fancy stuff, although his job does not give him this luxury. He constantly likes and wants new stuff like watches, gadgets, electronics, and car accessories. And I do my best to use every occasion, like Christmas and birthdays and New Year, to get him what he wants. Lately, and after he lost his job, I've been noticing him tagging along whenever I go shopping, then have me buy him expensive stuff right there and then. I end up paying to avoid causing a scene in public because he'd beg me then start throwing a fit if I refuse. I talked to him about it since it seemed like a pattern, but he said he just happened to see something he liked and thought I could pay for it. I told him that I no longer feel comfortable with this and that next time he tries to put me on the spot, then have me pay for something he likes. Then throw a tantrum if I refuse, then I'd walk out and leave him there. He crossed his heart and said he'd never do such a thing. On Wednesday, we went to the mall to get a Father's Day gift for my dad, and we walked by the accessories store. Aaron told me to stop and follow him as he entered the store. I knew this wasn't going well because he repeatedly tried on this watch that was worth over $350 and expressed his admiration for it. He then asked if I could pay for it, but I said no, and lied about having only $300 for my dad's gift, which is why we were there in the first place. He started going on and on about how cool and catch the watch was, then asked if my dad was more important than him. I looked around and saw people looking at us as he started raising his voice. I told him to knock it off, but he refused and insisted I pay for it. I just turned around and walked out of the store and out of the mall. I got in my car and went home. He started calling me nonstop, but we didn't talk till he got home. He blew up saying I reacted ridiculously and selfishly after he begged me, and I refused. He said that I then made a joke out of him by walking out and leaving him at the mall. I told him of what I said would happen if he decided to put me in this position again. He argued that all he was asking was for just $350, and even showed me a small notebook saying he's been writing down everything I pay for so he could pay me back, but I was too selfish to even consider it. He yelled at me, then went out to meet his friends. His best friend tried to get involved by shaming me for how I behaved at the mall and hinting that what I was doing was borderline financial control. Am I the asshole? Should I have just paid for the watch? Am I the asshole for calling my husband a bad father because he allows his adult daughter's birthday to overshadow Christmas every year? When I met my husband, James, he had a 14-year-old daughter, Ella, and I never really bonded. As she doesn't really like people, James always told me to leave Ella alone and respect her boundaries. I do believe he took her boundaries too far in some cases, as Ella is now a 27-year-old woman who refuses to speak when she doesn't want to. I have a 13-year-old daughter, Ava. The pregnancy was a surprise, and I know the timing is bad that I got pregnant right around the time I met Ella. And honestly, I have always felt that James prefers Ella. Ella is a lot like him personality-wise, and it is very subtle, but I feel like he loves Ella more. Ella never accepted her sister or I, but I've made peace with that, because getting Ella to speak is literally like pulling teeth. Ava hates Ella, but she knows that she has to be civil to everyone. Ella's birthday is December 23rd, and as a result, James never made too big of a deal about Christmas. Her birthday always took priority. This became an issue when Ava was born. James had always promised Ella he would take her to Europe for her 16th birthday, and Ella was insistent it had to be on her actual birthday. So the Christmas when Ava was 2, he actually missed Christmas, and we had the first fight of our entire marriage. He also told Ella crazy things like, if a man doesn't make a big deal out of her birthday to dump his ass, and that her birthday is much more important than Christmas. As a result, Ava complains every year that James cares more about Ella's birthday than about Christmas, and that she thinks Ella gets an unfair amount of money spent on her. Also, Ella hosts a huge Christmas Eve, which we are all invited to, but Ava and I don't go, due to it mostly being her husband's family. So everything in December sometimes feels it is about Ella. This year, I feel bad, because I couldn't get Ava what she really wanted, because it is out of stock. But Ella just had a baby, and my husband bought her a ring with the baby's birthstone, which Ava knows about. Now Ella wants to go to Colorado for her birthday Christmas Eve. James said he is going to go, because he can drive back and be home by about 10. I finally got annoyed and asked if he thinks he spends a fair amount of money, time/energy on Ella versus Ava. And I said he makes every Christmas about Ella and her birthday. He said I was being unfair because Ella has never excluded me from her plans, though she is rude and doesn't talk to me either. Finally, I snapped at him that he is a bad father, because one of his kids is a grown-ass woman and one is not. He is now upset and says that was meant to say, and I just don't like Ella, and he tries his best. Am I the asshole for giving my niece expensive presents but not my nephews? I, 30F, have 2 siblings, a brother B, 34, and a sister S, 39. Growing up, S got everything she wanted and was spoiled. My parents would make B and I share our birthday and Christmas money with her so she didn't feel left out, but she never had to share with us. She was allowed to do multiple dances classes each week, while B and I had to drop out of sport because our parents couldn't afford it. For Christmas, B and I would get new unbranded clothes and books, while S was gifted mobile phones, MP3 players, PlayStations, designer clothes, and handbags. This is carried on to S's kids, 16M and 13. For their birthdays and Christmas, my parents will gift them hundreds of dollars of stuff, while mine and B's kids will get a small toy or two. My mother excuses it as S is a single parent and struggling financially, whereas my husband is from a wealthy family and B has a wife. B and I have asked our parents to give these bigger gifts separately away from the other kids to avoid hurt feelings. But they do it anyway, and I weren't going to go to our parents' Christmas, Deck 24, this year. My mother asked why, and we said it was because of the gift situation, and also because they only ever talk about S and her kids. My mother promised it wouldn't happen this year. B and I decided to give her a chance and go. Everything was going okay until it came time for gifts. My husband had to work and was going to come later and bring our gifts. But my brother, sister, and parents handed theirs out. My mother disappeared towards the end and came back with special presents for S's kids. 16M got a new phone, and 13M got a new iPad, and they got some other gift cards. My kids didn't really care, but my niece Evelyn, 14, was upset. 16M told her to stop being a baby and she should just be grateful she got a gift at all. 13M and S laughed. I was pissed. I texted my husband to stop at the shop and pick up something extra for Evelyn on his way over, thinking an extra gift card. He came in with a new MacBook Pro, iPhone 14, iPad and pencil, PS5, a big Lego kit, and several gift cards worth over $1,000. She was stoked. My nephews were given some designer shoes they've been wanting and $50 cash. They asked what else they were getting. My husband said nothing and that they should be grateful for the gifts they got. My sister went off, screaming about treating everyone equally and making her kids feel left out, and how they need computers and PS5s as well. My brother said, like how Mom has always treated everyone equally. And my mother started crying. She said she was wrong, but this wasn't the time, and we ruined Christmas. My husband said we were leaving and invited B, Sil, and Evelyn to his parents' house the next day for Christmas lunch. They came, and my in-laws gave them an all-expenses-paid trip to Disneyland and spending money. My sister found out and is demanding she gets one for her kids as well. This is Harsh Truths of Love. We share real stories, hard lessons, bold takes, and be smarter in life. Leave your comment and let us know your thoughts. Please subscribe. We'd love to see you next week.